You're ready to start this, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Wait, you weren't ready because I was trying to... All right. In 3, 2, 1... You're up, Jerry.
I've got till 5!
Support, no DQ.
All right, you've got till 5. 5 what?
All right, let's go with 5 best pile driver variations.
Ooh. All right, I've got like 3 in mind.
Yeah.
I bet Owen's gonna be way better at this. Okay, Owen, your top 5 pile driver variations.
So obviously, the Undertaker's Tombstone pile driver. That might be the best one, considering the fact that it's the one that's been used the most, and he's like the only wrestler that can really still do it in WWE and safely and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously just I like the one that Shawn Michaels hit on the Undertaker right on the steps and doing the first Hell in a Cell match. I thought that one was awesome.
That was sick.
And then I like the one that what's his name? Kazuchika Okada hits, but I don't really like that he just transitions it into a clothesline. I think that's like the Japan thing anyways, that's like a transition move, but my opinion, the Tombstone really shouldn't be a transition move into a clothesline things. But a lot of people give me flack for that because I guess apparently it's the Japan style, and if you question that style, you're gonna game over apparently. So but yeah, I like that. I like that one, and I'm trying to think of. I obviously don't really want to say the one at SummerSlam '97 because you don't want to say that because I almost ended a guy's career. So, yeah, I can't really.
Well,
I like the I know they can't do this in real life, but in the video games, you could do a tombstone pile driver. I think off the top rope. It was pretty damn cool.
I think they had that on No Mercy.
Yeah.
What about the Canadian Destroyer?
Yes.
Or
yeah.
Rey Mysterio's version of it.
Well,
it was like a sunset bomb into a Canadian Destroyer.
Well, you also, if you count that, you also have to count the Panama Sunrise from Adam Cole.
Yeah. Well,
also,
yeah, but
I've been watching a lot of Lucha Underground, and Phoenix does some type of pile driver. I don't remember what he calls it, but yeah, it looks really cool in and of itself.
I gotta go with that. I gotta go with the Tombstone. I gotta go with Mick Foley's version of the pile driver because he pulls you down by your pants. He pulls you into your own head.
It's like giving a wedgie at the same time as putting your head into the ground.
I feel like the Tombstone is probably the safest way to do a Tombstone. I have rarely seen a Tombstone where the person's head actually touches the mat.
Yeah.
And granted, it's probably the grossest because you got to tuck your face into their crotch, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Better than getting neck damage.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man, why'd you have to pick pile driver? It's so weird. There's not too many of them. I've seen a pile driver executed like a Michinoku driver. I thought that was pretty cool. And Rikishi's pile driver.
Oh, the island driver.
Yeah, over the
CM
right shoulder.
CM Punk did a pile driver too to John Cena. That's the last time someone other than The Undertaker did a pile driver, I believe.
Or McFoley.
Well, Adam Cole actually, I guess, but.
Baby.
What about you, Jerry?
Well, my favorite pile driver currently, I'm going to go ahead and say, is Chuck Taylor's Omega Driver / Awful Waffle. And if you guys have never seen this move, you need to go ahead and Google it, YouTube it.
Describe it, Jerry. I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, he gets the guy, the original version of the Omega Driver / Awful Waffle. He sets them up for a German suplex, tilt-a-whirls them into a pile driver.
That sounds sick, actually.
Oh, he's able to pull it off from different variations. He actually does a Tombstone version that looks more like the That's Incredible pile driver by Just Incredible. So with that one, let's see. Also, naturally a Tombstone because that's just classic. Arn Anderson's, Owen Hart's. Owen Hart's pile driver was fantastic.
Wait, which one? The one he took or the one he gave?
The one he gave, because that spawned off the Owen 360.
Between Stone Cold and Dan Severn, I mean.
Yeah, but Yeah,
Well, Jerry has a point because
Yeah, y'all
without
missed
that,
my sick blue joke.
yeah.
but Jerry has a point because without that moment, Stone Cold Steve Austin wouldn't have had the career that he's had today if that didn't happen. So
Maybe.
It's highly possible. He still may have.
Maybe.
But then you also have, like Stefan alluded to, like the sunset flip pile driver. Pretty much either. The first time I saw Petey Williams pull that was on ESPN, of all things. Like the best damn wrestling sports show. Because they actually had wrestling from TNA at that point on the best damn sports show. And I saw an X Division match, and I saw Petey Williams pull it off for the first time on Jarrell Clark. And it was just one of the coolest looking pile drivers I'd seen in my entire life. Then he pulled off a sick looking one on AJ Styles during a Bound for Glory pay-per-view that turned into almost like a Panama Sunrise because he jumped off the second rope, landed on AJ, flipped him over for the pile driver. So I wouldn't really call the Styles Clash a pile driver, but if done wrong, it could be a pile driver.
another person I forgot about too, because you mentioned TNA. Before he left, when he was the world champion, Bully Ray started using the pile driver.
Yep.
He only used it like on the big matches. I remember he first did it to Sting at Slammiversary 2013, and he did it like on like the exposed wood of the ring. It was pretty cool.
And then my final one that, God, I'm surprised even was able to be used in any way, shape, or form because it looks deadly as fuck, is the Steiner screwdriver. Pretty much it sets him up for like a vertical suplex and brings him down into a pile driver. It's almost like a different variation of the jackhammer. Really sick looking. It's just brutal.
Speaking of jackhammers, I had an idea for a tag team move where one guy goes for a jackhammer and the other guy comes off the top rope with a cross body.
Yeah.
And they both land on him.
Mm-hmm.
If you could pull that off right, that'd be really cool.
Well, I think we got like 5 out of each of us for that one, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really obscure topic. What's our next topic?
Well, I discussed this with you a little bit. I've discussed it with a couple other people. Owen, I know you're going to love this subject because it's going to tap into a lot of your knowledge. Which do you feel was better, the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era?
That's actually a pretty tough question.
I know.
It's a ball-busting question is what it is.
Because it depends on what you ask. Because if you would say, like, the wrestling is probably better in the Ruthless Aggression era because you have a lot of the technical guys, like, the Chris Jerichos, the Chris Benoits, Christian, Chris Benoit, Christian. Shawn Michaels came back in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a lot of technical guys. Shelton Benjamin was doing all types of high-flying stuff. But, like, entertainment-wise and stuff like that, it was probably the Attitude Era. You had a lot of, it made the most money.
Oh, yeah.
Probably like any professional wrestling, like, period. Unless, the 80s with Hogan, probably second most. You had to, like, all these different things to watch at the time. Like, I didn't live it, but ECW, WWF, and WCW.
Yeah.
So it's really like a tough question to answer. I might say the Attitude Era because I watch more stuff from the Attitude Era. Even like the bad stuff because it's still memorable and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this is a controversial topic, but the Ruthless Aggression Era also has most of that American Badass Undertaker one, which I hate that character of the Undertaker. So, I don't have to see any of that in the Attitude Era. I can just pretend that it doesn't exist up until 2000. So we'll pretend that, well, that's like a blimp. So
that's how I am with Ronda Rousey currently.
So for me, it's a tough question because I experienced both eras at two very different age groups.
Yeah.
I experienced the Attitude Era as a teenager and the Ruthless Aggression Era as a young adult.
yeah.
As a mature adult, looking back on it, the programming was better in the Ruthless Aggression Era. Although it trickled down into the PG era around, 2007, 2008?
Yep.
And the television entertainment aspect was better in the Ruthless or in the Attitude Era, but it had to be because they were competing. I would say the best part of the Ruthless Aggression Era didn't even happen until way after all signs of the invasion and the allegiance angle were gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all the wrestlers that remained from WCW were fully indoctrinated in WWE. But
You also too gotta remember though too in the Attitude Era you had like larger than life characters like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, Mick Foley, and no matter what gimmick he was, and you know, but everybody was very well known. You had NWO over here, you had ECW with all their stuff, like, you know, people still talk about it too. Like my family who like watches wrestling like remembers all that stuff and everything like that. Like somebody I used to work with would ask me, you know, are these guys still wrestling today and stuff like that. And you know, some of them might say yes, some of them might say no. So.
Well, most of what I remember from the Attitude Era was WCW, because I would watch WCW from 8 to 10, and then I'd catch the last hour of Raw. I was a WCW guy.
Yeah.
By the time WCW was consumed by WWF, it was on its way out of the Attitude Era. It was becoming more mainstream, especially since they were the only ones left. And the mainstream part of it is where the advertisers demand a more PG product.
Yeah.
So, I would have to go with, objectively, at the age that I'm at now, the better era was the Ruthless Aggression Era. It just was. It made... I'm going back and watching the Attitude Era now. Like,
Yeah.
And as an adult and a seasoned entertainment fan, the Ruthless Aggression Era made so much more sense, and the wrestling was so much better, and the shows didn't look like they were like thrown together just to mash everything in there. Somewhere there's a good middle ground, because right now they're putting on 20-minute matches on Raw, and it's Raw. You save the 20-minute match for a pay-per-view. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you've got 60 people on the roster, and yet somehow only 9 of them get shown on a 3-hour show. Like, fuck. There's a good middle ground between that and what you saw in the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
And that middle ground was the Ruthless Aggression Era.
Yeah.
So I go Ruthless Aggression. What about you, Jerry?
What about
your
you?
question?
What about you? Who else hasn't answered yet? Jerry.
Yeah. Who's left?
But for me, I've already said this a couple times, so I'll go ahead and say it again. That way it's on film. The Ruthless Aggression Era for me was way better because at that point, yeah, there was no competition anymore because, like granted, TNA had started to make a little bit of a rumbling. Like they were starting to do, they were still NWA at that point, I believe.
NWA,
So
TNA, yeah.
yeah, so at that point, like WWE could really do no wrong at that point. But at that also, we had OVW as the training ground, and we had John Cena come up, we had Batista come up, we had Randy Orton come up. We got to see the genesis of all these great wrestlers that are, like, you know, pretty much mainstream stars, like, larger than life at this point. And then also you saw a bunch of WCW wrestlers that, like, didn't get a push for the time of day, really, become champions. You saw Benoit. You saw Guerrero.
Booker
You saw
T.
Rey Mysterio, Booker T. You saw all these guys that, like,
Goldberg.
you know... You saw all these guys that didn't really even get much of a push at all, and now they're, like, you know, main eventing and headlining and whatnot. Pretty much what happened, like, pretty much Tony Schiavone sealed WCW's, like, fate that one night just for that one comment, "Thou put butts in seat." After he said that, the war was pretty much over. But with the Attitude Era, yeah, I got it. It was edgier content. Vince Russo did a terrific job with WWF at that point and everything. But then he tried to replicate that success over in WCW. It was trying too hard. People had already seen a bunch of it.
Well,
and it seemed less than genuine.
As a fan,
Yeah.
back then, and I guess a younger fan than you, I think you've got me by 5 years.
Yeah.
I was entertained by what Russo tried to do in WCW with the New Blood. Like, I really thought that was the saving grace. From what I hear, he didn't have enough control to really do with it what he wanted to, And I guess a lot of what he wanted to do was controversial enough that the higher ups in TNT and in WCW like put the kibosh on a lot of what he wanted to do, and so it ended up really muddied and ended up being not so new and not so fresh because it was the same boring shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought the new blood was going to be the savior of WCW, and I thought that if Eric Bischoff and fucking whatever group was backing him, Panda Entertainment, whatever the fuck it was.
Well, Panda was with Dixie Carter.
Okay, so whoever it was, if they could have gotten the show before it got canceled from television,
yeah,
I feel like they might have been able to turn things around. But
Yeah,
they would have still had to, I guess, acquire the names on the TNT and the Turner Time Warner contracts that WWF was not allowed to get when they purchased WCW, because these people were getting paid so much that they were basically getting paid directly from Time Warner, like Goldberg and Flair, and there were a number of wrestlers that sat out multi-million-dollar contracts because they got paid more to sit at home and not do anything and collect from Time Warner than they did to break that contract and go get jobs with WWE or any number of other companies. So that's why you didn't see Goldberg until like 2004.
Yeah.
So I love talking WCW. That was my shit.
I was about to say, WCW had good product, but then it's like Bischoff just became too big for his britches.
I even liked the 2001 WCW, man. I was WCW through and through. I was all about this show, and it just... because it had so many characters that I had so much time to, invested in, especially when my super fandom was where I formed my fandom, the NWO.
Mm-hmm.
NWO formed, and I found out Hogan, who I'd seen sparingly, as the ultimate babyface in this product wrestling. Because, you know, the younger you are, the harder it is to be like, oh, when does that wrestling show come on? Like,
Yeah.
I remember I was probably almost in my double digits before I realized that shows came on at the same time every week, but it sometimes had to be a specific day, like Tuesday or Thursday. Like if I tuned in on Wednesday at the same time, why is this other show on? What the fuck?
Exactly.
So
when you're first watching, you have to get in the habit of watching it at that time, on that day every week.
I think wrestling might have helped key me into that when I found out that Nitro was only on Mondays.
I was about to say, the really cool thing about Monday Nitro and Monday Night Raw at that point was Nitro was like 2 or 3 hours, but at the same time they showed it like twice. So I was able to like watch Monday Night Raw, then tape Monday Nitro from 11 o'clock till whenever it cut off.
Yeah, I should have done that, but tapes were actually fairly expensive.
Oh yeah, but we like used the crap out of them. So
like we had one VHS player, and my mom used it to tape General Hospital.
Her programs, yes.
General Hospital, Days of Our Lives. Actually, her program was General Hospital. Days of Our Lives was her boyfriend's program.
Oh, well, for my mom, it was General Hospital, Port Charles, All My Children, and Young and Restless. But
for me, it was wrestling.
Yep.
That was my soap opera.
Owen, lay it on us, brother. What kind of question do you have for this show?
So, I wanted to kind of put on a topic that's kind of relevant right now. Since we're getting into WrestleMania season, do you guys have any favorite WrestleMania shows or favorite WrestleMania matches? And then you can also talk about maybe your worst WrestleMania shows and worst WrestleMania matches, because I'm watching some past WrestleManias and stuff like that, and kind of want to get your brains on it. I don't know if I should go first or...
I'll go first. For me, I got to boil it down to most memorable. I used to watch WrestleMania over at my uncle's house. Like, we would go half and half on Mania, and it'd be a big thing. We'd have we'd have hot wings, and then we'd have the tater rounds baked with fucking Mexican cheese on top, and then this seasoned salt.
That's where that derived from.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for WrestleMania.
We actually had that like on our feet, like one of our first takeovers. Me and you watched together, I think. No, the second one. It was Phoenix Takeover Phoenix, I believe.
So nowadays I just order the wings from Domino's because they do it better. But I still do the tater crowns. Anyway, from that era of watching it with him, definitely WrestleMania 20. As an older adult watching it by myself, WrestleMania 30. Like, how can you not remember Daniel Bryan's ascent to the WWE Championship? Like, that was an amazing WrestleMania for me. You get emotional at the end because they start the show off with him in that match against Triple H, even trying to get the chance to be in the triple threat.
Mm-hmm.
And then to actually win the triple threat at the end, and you get the amazing moment with him posing with the titles, and yeah, that would be the two most memorable for me. What about you, Jerry?
Okay, like mine's is kind of a hodgepodge of matches and moments. So naturally, the first thing that comes to mind anytime I hear WrestleMania in any way, shape, or form is Steamboat Savage WrestleMania 3. That pretty much like solidified to me that like the best belt in the world was the Intercontinental belt. So after that, we have Chris Benoit winning the championship against Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I think it was in that main event, and that was just superb. Just all the way like the roll over at that point when Triple H is reaching for the ropes and
Yeah.
that moment, and then afterwards, when Eddie comes out and gives the big hug afterwards, that was just it gives me goosebumps.
We're all about Chris Benoit on this show. I know that causes
for me,
controversy,
it's kind of like
but
watching that moment back. It's kind of like
It's bittersweet.
Bittersweet, yeah.
you know what? If he did what he did, and we've had conversations on the Rapport about about whether or not he could have been framed for that, but if he did what he did, then it was a combination of the steroids and post-concussion syndrome. He wasn't of right mind, obviously. Otherwise, he would have shown symptoms of being angry and violent before that. So, fuck, man. It sucks, but at the same time, great match and great moment.
But for me, like I guess you call it more currently, even though it's been a couple of years. But like Seth Rollins having his curb stomp reversed into an RKO was like one of the biggest WrestleMania moments I think I've seen in a very, very long time.
But then cashing in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania later that night.
Later that night. So he turned like one of the biggest moments of a WrestleMania like in 1 hour, and then like cashing in his Money in the Bank and winning that match later that evening. That was just superb. So
he redeemed the curb stomp.
Oh yeah, that was just beautiful.
And he pinned Roman Reigns. We were all happy about that.
Oh yes.
Yes, we were.
And then like at that point, I was also like, well, this was I think prior to WrestleMania or so prior to it. I don't know the official numbers. Like WrestleMania 19, I remember also because of Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. That was an awesome match. And then we have, at one point, it was John Cena against Triple H, and John Cena came out with these gangsters, and like most of them were OVW wrestlers, and the biggest one on the card at that point was CM Punk, and before he'd actually had his debut match in the WWF or WWE. But yeah, so those were my moments.
So I want to talk about this gauntlet match.
Oh wait, I didn't get to see my
sorry.
moments.
He asked
I do that all the fucking time.
Yes,
I'm sorry,
you do. And you tell me to tell you to shut up, and I'm telling you to shut up right now.
I'm shutting up.
But yeah, some of my moments is I obviously like the first Money in the Bank ladder match because that kind of like started the new era of what we know now with the Money in the Bank ladder matches.
That still should be part of WrestleMania, and it shouldn't be a pay-per-view.
I really like WrestleMania 21 too.
Yeah.
It would probably it was very close to being like top 5 WrestleManias had it not been for like the last 3 matches on the card with Aki Bono versus Big Show, John Cena versus JBL.
I forgot about that match.
Batista versus Triple H. That match is okay, but it really wasn't main event quality. So, but it's an awesome card. It has Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero in the opener. Taker versus Orton, the Money in the Bank match. Obviously can't go wrong with Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels. Has a lot of fun moments on the show, like Hogan returning and attacking Muhammad Hassan and Daivari. I almost said Daivari, but it's not the right Daivari. So
yeah.
And then Stone Cold Steve Austin on Piper's Pit. I don't know if that's my favorite WrestleMania. I think my favorite one might be, I like 30 a lot with Daniel Bryan's story. Cesaro winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, even though that really doesn't mean much today, but still cool. And what else was on that? Oh, the streak ending is bittersweet. I also really like, 31 with Seth winning the title. But yeah, I really like Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker from WrestleMania 25. I really like WrestleMania. I think my favorite one might be WrestleMania 19. I just think it has an overall great undercard, and overall really good last 4 matches on the show, like Hogan, McMahon, Brock, and Kurt, Stone Cold, The Rock. I think that show has something on there for every type of wrestling fan, and I think that to me defines a perfect wrestling show. Is if you can please all types of wrestling fans, and I think WrestleMania 19 does the job. As for some bad moments, obviously some of the bad moments in WrestleMania 28 with Brodus Clay coming out with all the mamas, that was just really bad. Daniel Bryan getting squashed in 18 seconds of WrestleMania 28.
Oh, with against Sheamus.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else is I really don't like the John Cena Triple H match too much from WrestleMania 22 too. Just my opinion. I don't really think that's that good.
The entrances were the coolest part about that one, and that was it.
And of course, we got to shout out WrestleMania 14 for Aaron Rift, our host of the show, or our owner of the channel that hosts the show.
Yeah.
That's his favorite WrestleMania, mostly for the double turn in the Bret Hart Stone Cold match.
That's WrestleMania 13, Stefan.
Okay, so then 13. Shout out to WrestleMania 13. So, woo! That's why it's the Rapport, man. Fuck it, whatever.
All right, so you're saying about the gauntlet match.
Yeah, so we've got this gauntlet match so Kofi can get a title shot, hopefully at WrestleMania. He didn't specify that, he being Vince McMahon.
Well, he said WrestleMania opportunity, so...
It could be WrestleManias from years going, so...
Yeah, next year's WrestleMania. So anyway, we've got him versus Orton, him versus, not Rusev, Samoa Joe. And then we've got the Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, and we've also got Eric Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I want to discuss order, but I kind of wanted to just overall, how do you see this match going? How does Kofi Kingston beat all 5 of these guys in a gauntlet match and get his shot at WrestleMania?
So, I think he flats out beats the Bar. Just because they don't really do anything that big right now, and they can afford a loss. I think AJ Styles will cost Randy Orton the match, since they're having a match at Mania and stuff. Unfortunately, I think he's gonna flat out beat Joe. If it was me, I would have Joe get counted out or disqualified.
Well, you could have Rey Mysterio interfere in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the problem is too, you can't make Kofi have too much help too. I feel like he's got to I feel like just AJ will just kind of get the job done. If he has 2 people helping him, it would be kind of like a fluke. So.
Yeah.
And as for, I think Rowan's going to be the last one he faces. He's going to get beat down by everybody, and Rowan will kind of come in and try to pick the bones, and he's going to catch Rowan with a fluky roll-up.
Oh, I fully expect him to take one of those claw slams that Rowan does that nobody's kicked out of. But I fully expect him to take one of those and kick out of it.
Yeah.
And also people will ask, what are they going to do with Xavier Woods and Big E? Either what's going to happen is, Vince will say the ban from ringside. Maybe he did say that, and I just don't remember. Or he's going to have them go into some type of match where they lose, and they're going to get so beat down that they can't come out later on in the show.
Well, you've only got so much time, and with a 5-person gauntlet match, 6 total if you include...
Wrestle Talk said they should just go ahead and do it
the
all
whole
with their
2 hours.
Yeah.
Just start it at the beginning and plan on having other stuff during the show, but everything gets canceled and pushed back because the gauntlet match ends up taking up the whole 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, how does Kofi last 2 hours? He's going to die at the end of this.
Lots of rest holds.
Goddamn, a lot of rest holds. It would be really boring to do this for 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
but I could see them having to cut some segments.
Yeah.
Started out thinking this could go 2 hours, but then not. So I don't. You've only got so much time. I don't know if you've got enough time to have the other members of the New Day get taken out in a match. Let's say you put Woods and Big E against like 3 other tag teams.
True. Maybe they get attacked backstage then before
Or
them.
all of those tag teams that they took out, both face and babyface, in a handicap match. So it'd be 8-on-2.
Yeah.
Or just Nakamura and Rusev attack them from behind, since they're not in the match. And that way, I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. Vince is going to just say that they're banned from ringside, and if they show up, they're going to get fired, or Kofi's automatically disqualified.
Yeah, there you go. Just make it easy.
And that way, since Vince kind of left out that anybody else can come out to the ring, that's when you're going to have other people for other matches interfering. And actually, Daniel Bryan, I think, is going to cost Eric Rowan the match in some way, shape, or form. There's going to be this thing where Kofi's on a little bit of a hot streak or something, and Bryan's going to try to hit Kofi with his heavyweight belt and end up hitting Eric Rowan instead, and that's going to cause him the match. That's how he's going to win the match.
Maybe he gets caught trying to distract or some shit, and he gets extracted from ringside, he gets sent to the back.
Yeah.
And that distraction, Rowan turns around into
Trouble in Paradise.
Trouble in Paradise. 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Yeah.
That way, it's not directly affecting we're suggesting that AJ Styles do to get rid of Orton.
See, that's the thing. He's not facing the Bar separately, so it's one of these things where if he pins one of them, or just that's all he needs to do.
No, he is facing them separately.
Yeah,
I thought he's facing them just
it's
one.
It's a 5-man gauntlet match.
Oh shit! All right.
They've already proven that together they can dominate him because they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, singles wise, it's going to be a little bit easier for him. If it was the actual going against the actual tag team, I think it would have been a little more difficult. So
we're at 32 minutes. Does anybody have a topic for the main event?
I don't know if this should be a main event topic, but
it's gonna be. So what is it?
So they come out every year. And obviously this isn't NoDQ.com, so I can use this platform. Wrestling Observer has an awards come out every year, and they just released theirs this year, and I kind of want to know what you guys think about them. I feel like Jerry will be able to offer more because a lot of it's not guys from WWE, but we'll see how Stefan does. So do you want me just to read them off, or do you want to guess who won each award?
We can do the guess part before you tell us, because I'm going to be terrible at this, I'm sure.
Yep.
So this is I think every wrestling, across all wrestling promotions.
Okay.
We have, and I think they're voted too, I was told. It's not like Dave Meltzer picks them. I think he gives, it's like how NoDQ does their awards. So
yeah.
Wrestler of the Year. Who do you think won Wrestler of the Year?
Kenny Omega.
Yeah. Yep, he did.
I was about to say, Omega got that one.
You got to give him a chance to guess too, though.
Okay.
Bing!
So most outstanding Wrestler of the Year.
Ricochet.
I would say Okada.
Oh, Okada, yeah.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega actually won that award as well.
Holy shit. Okay, so.
Women's MVP of the Year.
Becky Lynch.
Yep. Tag Team of the Year.
Ooh, the Young Bucks.
Oh, Young Bucks are hopefully.
Yeah, they won it this is the 5th year they've won it for the Observer.
Well, it helps that they named their finishing move after Dave Meltzer.
Exactly.
So.
Now this one you guys should get. Feud of the Year.
Gargano.
Yep. Worst feud of the year. You guys have to think about this one. I don't think Jerry will get it, but maybe Stefan will.
The worst feud?
Yep.
AJ versus Nakamura.
Okay. Jerry?
Oh. Anything involving not Nia Jax?
Nia Jax.
No, actually, even though this wasn't a feud, they did do it as a storyline. Bailey Sasha Banks storyline. They were.
That was going to be my second guess.
Yeah, I was about to say that kind of was kind of a frenemy thing than anything else.
Yeah.
All right, we have Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
that's tough.
It's gonna be tough for Stefan because he doesn't watch the Indies. Because I think it's just someone who's never like wrestled ever. So.
Oh, then it's gonna be pretty difficult for me too. Oh, I have no clue.
Zaya Brookside.
Jerry, you gotta guess something.
Okay. Oh no. Eric Bugenhagen.
Yes.
But it's Wanda Rousey.
Oh.
Go
I
ahead,
know
give
you
him
guys
the
don't like
finger.
that one. I didn't want to say that because I would have given it away. All right, this is a new award, North American MVP of the Year.
Does that involve like U.S. and Canada?
I'm gonna go with my previous guess, Ricochet.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's just U.S. and Canada. Yeah.
Okay. Kevin Owens was out almost all the year, so. Oh, that's tough. I'll say Ricochet as well.
It's AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. Okay, that works.
Fact.
Okay.
Japanese MVP of the Year. Let's see if Stefan can get this one.
Naito.
Okay.
But that'd be cool too, because he's pretty awesome. Okada.
Kenny Omega. I think they mean so. I guess New Japan.
Oh, I was about to say, like, I automatically went with Japanese star. Sorry to whitewash there.
So I guess Mexican MVP of the Year. I don't think Stefan's gonna get this one because I don't know if he knows anyone that's wrestled in a Mexican promotion. So.
Oh, neither do I. Let's see. Is Johnny Mundo still considered Mexican?
Pentagon Jr.
Jerry, I don't know if you know. Is it L.A. Polk?
Oh, L.A. Park. La Parca.
La Parca, nice.
All right. Non-heavyweight MVP of the Year.
Pete Dunne.
Oh, non-heavyweight.
Or fucking Mustafa Ali. Fuck, I don't know.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Nope, it's Will Ospreay.
Damn it! That was my second guess right there.
Best technical wrestler of the year.
Not Matt Riddle. Not Matt Riddle. Not Matt Riddle.
Pete Dunne.
Okay.
Daniel Bryan.
It was Zack Sabre Jr. You just said him, Jerry. You just said him here. Alright, then we have Waller of the Year.
Ambrose.
No. Nia Jax.
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's Tomohiro Ishii.
Oh, yeah, he's a tough
Ishii.
he's a tough basher. He's
Yeah.
a bastard.
Alright, most charismatic wrestler of the year.
Sadly, not Bugenhagen. I doubt Bugenhagen. I like saying the name.
Johnny
Bugenhagen.
Gargano.
Tetsuya Naito. You guys also gotta remember too, this is a Wrestling Observer.
Yeah, I was about to say it. Like,
Give him
that's
my
all
best
it's
guess, man. Let's keep this rolling.
for.
High Flyer of the year.
Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Will Ospreay. Most improved wrestler of the year.
Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
That was actually a really good guess.
Damn straight it was.
I was about to say it's probably super duper wrong, but it's a really really great guess. Most improved.
Just trying to knock these out.
Oh yeah, I know. Cassius Ohno.
It's Hangman Page.
From Bullet Club.
And then we have match of the year.
Anything with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, but probably more likely Okada versus Omega, that third match.
Mm-hmm.
What about? Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I was about to say, like, there's no challenging that, really.
The one from Dominion, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
See, I know shit.
What about the worst match of the year?
Oh.
Anything involving Nia Jax. Or Ronda Rousey.
Or Brie Bella.
Oh, God. Why are we naming so many women wrestlers? Are we that chauvinistic?
Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey at Money in the Bank.
It's Jerry, did you guess or?
No, he didn't.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Stefan.
Okay. It's DX versus Brothers of Destruction at Crown Jewel.
Oh.
Good one.
Best weekly show of the year.
SmackDown.
NXT.
Yep, it's NXT.
Thank God.
That's why we cover it, bitches.
Why do we not got more viewers?
Worst show?
Yeah.
Raw.
What'd you say?
Raw.
Yeah, was won this for the 4th year in a row. On Wrestling
Wow.
Yeah. Even though SmackDown should have won it the year
Promotion of the
before.
year.
Promotion of the year? New Japan Pro Wrestling, probably.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to let Jerry guess.
Yeah, if I get it right,
it's okay. I don't matter.
What is promotion of the year? Yeah.
TNA. Or Impact.
Impact.
WWE.
Wow.
I mean, probably deservedly so.
Yeah. They have extremely high standards to live up to, and they're kind of falling behind on them.
Yeah.
They set their own
Gimmick.
standards, too.
Gimmick of the year. Best gimmick.
The Man.
Becky Lynch.
Velveteen Dream.
Oh!
That should
Now
have
we
been
got
last year, but whatever.
Now we got the worst gimmick of the year.
The Face Breaker.
Ronda Rousey.
Or Dean Ambrose's heel turn.
Oh, Dean Ambrose's heel turn was horrible.
The
Constable
B-Team.
Corbin.
Constable Corbin.
Best show of the year.
Best show of the year. The
Or-
NXT before Mania. Oh no!
What did you say,
For
Jimmy?
them, it's gonna be what's the one that Wrestle Kingdom.
Okay.
I say Takeover War Games.
They said Dominion because that's where that Okada Omega match.
Ah, yeah.
Should guess.
Worst show of the year.
Gotta be something WWE. Main roster. Survivor Series.
Okay.
God, I wish it was this year because it probably would have been Fastlane. No jabs at Fastlane. They're playing jabs at Fastlane. I'm not really sure because I don't follow a lot of the main brand. So
It's Crown Jewel.
makes
Crown
sense.
Jewel catches a lot of flack, dude.
Best wrestling move of the year.
The phenomenal forearm.
Ronda
Okay.
Rousey's arm breaker.
Nope. Kenny Omega's One-Winged Angel. Most underrated wrestler of the year.
Underrated?
Yep.
Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
Perennially underrated.
Underrated.
Between him and Drew McIntyre at that point.
I'm gonna go with underrated. Mustafa Ali.
He said the person that won it was Finn Balor.
Finn Balor's underrated?
If anything, he's overrated.
Well, I think
but fuck.
what that means is like someone that hasn't been utilized to their potential. I think.
Oh, that's true too.
And then most overrated, so someone that's been used way too much.
Do you really need to have my answer for that question?
Let me guess, Ronda Rousey.
I'm actually gonna go the same. Ronda Rousey.
Baron Corbin.
Oh yeah, I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Best non-wrestler of the year. So this is like someone that was like a manager, a commentator, backstage. Best non-wrestler of the year.
Heel Charlie Caruso. Oh, that's
Okay.
recent. Never mind. Forget that answer.
For me, it is and always will be Paul Heyman. I don't care what the Wrestling Observer says. It says anytime Paul Heyman is on television, it's good fucking TV.
I'm gonna go with Corey Graves.
It is Paul Heyman, so.
Yes, I win one.
Best announcer of the year.
Corey Graves.
So this is like
No.
Mauro Ranallo.
I wish. I agree. I disagree with this one, but I haven't seen any of his comments. It's Kevin Kelly.
Oh, Kevin Kelly's actually really good, but it's like he's
Yeah,
no
you
Mauro
can-
Ranallo.
Yeah. Worst announcer of the year.
Oh, Byron Saxton.
Nigel McGuinness.
Oh,
No,
that's a good one.
no. Vic Joseph.
Vic Joseph.
Vic Joseph.
Vic Joseph. I agree.
Vic Joseph.
Jonathan Coachman.
Oh, because he got ousted for the woman that has a lisp.
Most disgusting promotional tactic of the year. You guys should be able to get this one.
Ronda Rousey getting the belt.
Dean Ambrose turning heel after Roman Reigns announces he's got cancer.
Nope, it's WWE
Crown
business
Jewel.
ties with Saudi Arabia.
Okay. Crown Jewel. There you go.
Well, no, I think because they did the greatest Royal Rumble too. So
Well, yeah, but it wasn't so hot back then, and then that dude got murdered by the Saudi
Yeah.
government. And
then we have Booker of the year, the best wrestling Booker.
who the fuck knows? Booker T.
Wrong kind of Booker.
He's a booker.
I don't know who he is, but Jetto. I think he books like New Japan or something.
Oh,
Like,
Gato and Jado have been used to be wrestlers. They Fuyuki Gun was like
This is a
one.
long list. How many more of these do we have?
Support. No DQ.
one more.
One more.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
Promoter of the year.
I feel like we should have started at the bottom of the list and got progressively better. Promoter of the year.
Probably just Vince.
New Japan.
Some guy named Taki Kani. I don't know how to say.
So I got the closest.
Yep.
I think I actually answered more of these correctly than you did.
Yeah, probably. And Jado and Gato.
Yeah.
Jado and Gato have been
Thoughts?
around for quite some time. They were actually like in Fuyuki Gun, like one of the biggest. They were pretty much the Bullet Club before Bullet Club was Bullet Club. Chris Jericho was like the Gaijin in the group, and he actually was in New Japan, like Japan Pro Wrestling and War and whatnot. I read that in the Lion's Tale Around the World in Spandex. One of the greatest books you'll ever read.
Any thoughts on these awards with winners and stuff? Or do you think one should have won? Do you think?
I mean, it's Meltzer, and he's got to watch like everything wrestling. So for that, I would say go with your heart. Like, so I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with any of the answers because it's all voted on by people that watch all of that shit.
He got the feud right. That's all I really care
It's like
about.
for me, I watch WWE and NXT, and that's about it. So of course I'm gonna be like, who the fuck is this guy? But I watch Wrestle Talk too, so I know Will Ospreay and I know
Zack Sabre Jr.
yeah, you know, so
Yeah.
He's on your Fire Pro Wrestling game.
so I
So
mean,
one award I did forget to read. Best UK wrestler because it wasn't on there actually. You'd be surprised.
Tyler Bate,
Gibson.
Pete Dunne.
It was actually because I think they do all UK wrestling across the board. It was actually Walter won that award actually.
Walter
So,
Von.
Wow.
but yeah, I think these are good awards, and like you said, it's all fan voted. I actually haven't seen some of those matches. I wanted to watch the Okada Omega match, but never got a chance to. But yeah, but like I would obviously have like different lists because I only have time to watch WWE. So, but Raw probably being the worst, program of the year weekly. I actually agree with that because there were just some weeks that Raw was just unable, especially towards the end of the year.
That was a really good week for No DQ because it got mentioned in Forbes and everything because like the boycott was actually in effect and that poll like that where it's like 96% of people thought like that Raw was shit.
Yeah. It was to the point where Aaron Riff didn't want to watch Raw for a week, and I didn't watch Raw for 2 weeks.
He went and saw Elvis Costello that night.
So let's do a different main event then, because that kind of fell off. Speaking of independence and the Young Bucks and blah 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 and all these and Omega and what does AEW have to do differently to put themselves in a spot where they've got weekly television, monthly pay-per-view, and they're actually a promotion, a legitimate promotion like what TNA tried to do, and can actually compete with WWE on a weekly basis. What do they have to do? Other than just the obvious, get a TV channel that will put you on air once a week, do that. Either find one place to do all your tapings or get a schedule and start traveling around with a set and wrestlers and storylines. All of that stuff is a given because you're talking about a TV show, a live action TV show. Other than the basics, what do they have to do different than WWE to stand out and build themselves to a point to where they can compete?
You want to take this one first, Owen? Okay, cool.
I think they need to kind of follow, you know, NXT's format in a way where they make every episode like feel like awesome and authentic. But you don't want to completely follow that format because then you're ripping off somebody else. But I just think they need to like make the product, you know, really good. They need to have really booked roster. And I think they need to get like a big name signee that kind of I know Chris Jericho is kind of it, but if someone like Dean Ambrose, like if he's leaving, goes over there, I think people would like want to say, I want to tune in for Dean Ambrose. Because it was like when Hulk Hogan went to WCW. When he went to WCW, people were like immediately interested. They need like a big name in WWE that's very still like relevant today. I know Jericho's still relevant, but I feel like he's kind of been doing for me, him going to AEW is a big deal, but it's not as big of a deal as when he went to New Japan because that was like a new thing.
Right.
I think if Ambrose went over there, it would kind of change the landscape. It would get people talking a lot. And I also think, like I said, they have to be able to do it on a consistent basis. They can't just do, you know, they have to. I think like it's going to take a while for people to kind of really buy that there's new, you know, wrestling company that could possibly compete with WWE, because I've talked about this before. WWE has been around for so long. They're a big company, so like when TNA tried to go up against them, they were just barely unable to do so, and now it's going to be harder because WWE's lasted longer. I think they need to do more than just have a few good shows. They need to get people. I feel like they need to do. They need to get new people that not necessarily never done wrestling before, but they need to get young guys, because I think WWE, while they have some, you know, people that are experienced in the business, they also have people that aren't really bringing anything new to the table, like the Bruce Pritchards, like the Jeff Jarrett's, like the, you know, Abyss Abyss is new, but I think they need to bring in new people that would bring in fresh ideas, because if AEW can do something fresh, that's, you know, compelling and stuff, I think like people would watch it. So there's a ton of things that they have to do. And I feel like it would help too. You know, if I wondered if them having kind of an off season kind of would help in a way too, because people wouldn't feel. Because I think sometimes the problem is with WWE. I ask myself this question:
oversaturation.
Oversaturation. I feel like if AEW doesn't oversaturate their product, Walking Dead's even starting to do that now. That whole series too. Mm-hmm. They're making movies. They have a spin-off. They have the real show, and you don't ever get a break from either thing. So I feel like, you know, not oversaturating the product would help.
Well, I think if they did cycles for wrestlers, like 9 months on, 3 months off, but the product itself goes 52 weeks a year,
yeah,
that would be okay. But to take the entire brand off of television for even a few months could risk losing the viewers that you have, because they're people that are used to new wrestling every week. Mm-hmm. It's like soap operas. Those women and some men are used to having a new show every day, 5 days a week. And if you went on an off season, they'd be like, "Oh, the show must have gotten canceled."
Yeah, true.
What about you, Jerry?
For me right now, like, I'm looking more at the TV thing than anything else, because that's something they really must do in order to actually, as cliche as it sounds, but even before then, About half the roster I know because most of them were the Elite or Bullet Club members in AEW. That and Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is my favorite wrestler. Okay, so it's one of these things where
So you've got that in common with Virtue.
yeah. God, you guys are both just kicking me in the nuts tonight. This sucks. There's a lot of wrestlers in the company that they're announcing and everything that people are going to be like, who? It'd be cool if it is like with this, like We Are Elite, like TV, like the YouTube program that they're doing at this point. They also need to start incorporating in just like almost like wrestling profiles, maybe like a 5-minute snippet of somebody with a match included. That way you get a feel of like what their abilities are and who you can see them going up against. Establish them in some way, shape, or form instead of just focusing on your 6 or 7 main stars and Cody and all of them. You need to start showing people wrestling action, not just talking and new T-shirts. And then from there, it looks like JR is heading that way, which would be fantastic. If they can get another color commentator that can actually get people interested in the product as the wrestling unfolds in the ring, that's even more beautiful. That's because lately, if you have a great storyteller like calling the action, Mauro Ranallo does this on an almost daily basis. He'll even change up his like dialect and whatnot to go with whatever's going on in the ring. Granted, sometimes it comes off as hokey, but at the same time, like it's endearing at the same time because you're like, okay, this dude's really trying to sell me on these people, and it's working. But that's what they need to do: develop more familiarity to the people that they actually are bringing in before they start bringing other superstars in. Right now, WWE's kind of riding the wave because everybody's talking about who's leaving WWE, and they're using that as storylines. I mean, like AEW's writing their own downfall at this point by just saying it's like, or WWE saying it's like, hey, these people are talking about leaving, and they're like, no, they're not. But we don't know this. We're fans. We're watching it from the outside. We don't know who's trying to leave. We don't know who's trying to stay. But at the same time, these people that are trying to leave, Vince is just paying more, slapping belts on them, and just letting them do their thing. So AEW needs to start keeping a lid on a little bit of who else they're going to be bringing in at this point, or who else they're even talking to at this point.
Yeah, because even people that aren't signed with WWE are getting signed by WWE just so they can't go elsewhere.
Yes. Yeah. If they kept it more covert, like on the signees that they're actually working a little bit harder on, that would be great because that way it stays off of Vince's radar and also doesn't really, screw up. Like I said, you have plenty of a good solid roster just to start off with right now. That's how NXT UK is also working as well. Is the fact that they started off with a smaller roster and they're sprinkling people in little by little. And even then, most of them were jobbers, but now they're actually starting to show more. You've got the mythology of them, and now you're actually getting more storyline and stuff established with them as time goes on. You're becoming more familiar with them. They're becoming more in your psyche, and you're remembering their name. You're remembering their theme music. You're remembering their moves. You're remembering the chants that the crowds do. And it's all because it's like wasn't forced down our throats at the same time. It was all little by little. It was super gradual. It's very organic, if you will.
So my answer goes along with kind of what you were saying, talking about using the Elite program that they've got on YouTube to introduce people. I feel like the one thing that they can try to do now to get ahead of WWE now is be at the forefront of technology instead of just coming in after it's established. And the big thing here for me is the television product versus streaming product. I think they should be a solid TV 14 program.
Yeah.
And I know their plan obviously is to go on Tuesday nights. They need to do so after 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Even
after 11 o'clock if you can. Because television viewership is not, it's either going to be there or it's not. whether it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever.
Even then, chances are it'll be more of a streaming thing too.
The thing about it is, most people are going to streaming. They've transferred DVR into the idea that now they can just watch it whenever they want and stream it instead of recording it because it's available. So what you do is you put the television product on late at night where kids are supposed to be in bed, after the hours where South Park on Comedy Central is allowed to drop the word fuck and shit and stuff. You know, like, so you can actually cuss on this program on television, but at the same time, you release the program digitally as a streaming option on that channel's streaming service, because every channel, even network programs or network channels, have streaming now. You can go to abc.com and stream the TV show that came on earlier. You release it as a stream at, like, let's say 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, so that adults that want to watch it earlier in the day can watch it, and they can include their kids if they want, whatever. But those streaming services are innately parental controlled. When you create a user for your child to go on to this streaming service and watch this program, you tell them how old they are. And if it's TV-14, they're not going to be able to see them say fuck. And they're not going to be able to stay up late enough to see it on TV, where most kids have control anyway. Like, I knew my mom didn't put any passwords on channels and shit. Like, she just didn't buy the channels.
Exactly.
I remember we didn't get, when Comedy Central became an option, we didn't get Comedy Central, and therefore I also didn't get Cartoon Network because it was part of the bundle. But because of South Park,
Channel 58 and Channel 60 respectively.
so I would have to go and watch South Park at my dad's house because he didn't care. He actually took me and my sister when we were early teens to go see the South Park movie.
Bigger, longer, and uncut.
Bigger, longer, and uncut.
Yes.
Hell yeah, great movie. I've seen that probably more than Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
Speaking of bigger, longer, and uncut, two main characters in that movie, Terrence and Phillip. And what are we gonna be doing? We're gonna get some TNP shirts made up for our trip to Toronto.
I've already ordered my birth certificate, so I should be good to cross the border. So now it's just going to take... see, we've gotten the SummerSlam tickets already. NXT TakeOver tickets haven't gone on sale yet, but Aaron's going to try and get closer tickets. I think we're in the second tier, the third balcony, whatever, for SummerSlam. But that's okay. It's about who you're with, not where you're at. Otherwise, we'd have just gotten our own tickets. Because I guess when you get smaller groups, you can get them closer. We're going to be in a group of 8. But we'll have Aaron there, we'll have Virtue there, Caitlin and Aaron, her sister. And who? Big G?
Cindy G.
Cindy's going to be with our group. That's cool too. So.
And hopefully Noah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Noah's probably going to be there.
Is that's more than 8 though? Is it? I don't know. Anyway.
Maybe they'll just leave Virtue at home.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and so we're going to try and do a blue and a red shirt with T and P and do Terrence and Phillip. Also, we have plans to find at least one Canadian to call us buddy or guy or pal or friend, and then we're going to do that, I'm not your buddy guy. I'm not your guy, friend. I'm not your friend, buddy. We have so many plans to make fun of Canada, and I have a feeling we're going to leave Canada with more appreciation than we're going if we're planning on doing some South Park version of making fun of Canada. But I expect it's going to be an incredible trip. Toronto's supposed to be a really great city.
So we're done?
I guess we're done.
All right.
So for...
hold on. Owen, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Absolutely,
We really fucking missed you.
It's been too long. Let's see, we're definitely going to try and get you on for the predictions for the next NXT TakeOver.
Yeah.
But we will have to see. Depends on schedules. Usually we try to do that on Wednesday night as soon as we get off work and get back here. So it'd be like 11:30.
Well, we're gonna have that whole week booked up really, because we're gonna have the TakeOver predictions and we're also gonna have the WrestleMania predictions.
Yep.
So.
I think that'd be perfect though if you did it Wednesday, because I don't gotta get up at 7 on Thursdays, so that's perfect.
It's either that or we'll end up having them do like the Four Horsemen like predictions, and we'll do our rundown, or
Oh, because that's right. No, because we'll have to do predictions with Noah only.
Yep, because we do no DQ.
Yeah, because Takeover is part of No DQ's championship cup.
Yep.
Whoops.
Well,
So
you did take over with me and James Archangel before. So
well, that was Takeover UK.
no, you did regular takeover.
It was War Games, I believe.
Oh,
No, it's Phoenix.
Well, it's Phoenix.
I suppose if we found 2 other people to have 4 up here, we could still do it, and Noah's and yours and mine would be the only ones that count towards Team No DQ.
And it was that started.
Because we can't do Cindy, because Cindy will be on the Ladies of No DQ predictions video.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's cool. We can do that too. Either way,
We'll figure it all out. We got 3 weeks.
Yeah.
thank you for being on. Thank you for doing the NXT party with us and staying over to have some chat on the R report, the Rated R report.
James Hebert was supposed to be on there with us.
Rapport.
He's not feeling well, so get well soon, James.
Yeah, get well, James.
The one and only.
Yeah.
The Archangel.
The Archangel. Way to go, Stefan.
The Archangel James Hebert. Hopefully we can get him on next week or the week after, or we're still trying to get somebody new up on the big screen.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do the plug though. This isn't the show where we
You're
do
on
plugs.
Aftermatch Wrestling. You've obviously seen the other show.
Yeah. So I will say, I'm sure you've already subscribed if you're watching this, but ring that bell down there, and that'll let you know when these shows go up, because like we're recording this Thursday night, Friday morning, but it probably won't go up until like this weekend or Monday or Tuesday or some shit.
I was about to say it's 4.
It'll be one day this week. I'll just be like, oh yeah, I've got that video to edit and post. So they go up at weird times. So click that bell. For the Birdman of
Birdman.
Boston, Owen Finch. For the General, Jerry Slaughter. I am just Stefan Osborne. Thank you for watching the show, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
So, Owen, we've asked this question of former guests of the Rated R Report. I believe this is your first time on the show.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm going
it
to
is.
ask you, what was your very first live wrestling event?
So my very first live wrestling event was the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam 2007. It was like right the night afterwards. I don't remember, obviously. I remember some specifics of it. I believe I was like sitting in the second to last row, so you couldn't really get like a good viewpoint. That was the wall when Randy Orton first punted John Cena's father in the head. And obviously, because I was like, 11 at the time, I didn't realize what was going on. I thought like he attacked a fan at ringside because I didn't know who John Cena's father was. And when you're that far away, you can't really see it.
Right.
And then I remember just to show how much Triple H, can't let Randy Orton get like a big main event push. He came out and like squashed him like in the dark match afterwards. So that was nice. It was my first time I saw like Jeff Hardy. He had like a double count out double count out to Mr. Kennedy. And that was when they were doing the whole Vince McMahon's illegitimate son angle, and Triple H implied that he had sex with a bunch of old women, which I didn't get because it was over my head because I was 11 years old. So, I don't think there was anything else specifically I remember that was on that show, but it was my first event. And obviously it was pretty cool. I think that the why I was seat was so bad was I didn't start watching wrestling until like, April 2007. So probably we waited so long to get the seats because they wanted to see if I would stick to watching it after a while. But I've definitely gone to like better events. But that was my, first one I went to, and I always remember it. So yeah.
Awesome.
Support No DQ.